Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers and sisters in Islam, alhamdulillah, I think we understand the significance and importance of making the rows. Alhamdulillah, we could see that for the most part the rows are quite complete. Alhamdulillah, the gaps are filled. But while you're sitting, if you see there is some spot in front of you, just inshallah move on forward and fill in that gap. So the people who come after us don't have to wait outside for the duration of the khutbah and then just run in when the iqamah is given. Jazakumullah khairan for your cooperation. In addition to all the announcements that were made just a few minutes ago, there is two sisters in the hospital and another brother. Their family members without names are asking that we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for them also. So inshallah today on this blessed day of Jum'ah in this sacred month of Muharram, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all those who are sick, may Allah grant them shifa from His treasures. All those who are facing difficulty and distress around our world, in our communities, in our homes, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alleviate their difficulties and distress. And all those who have passed on to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive their sins, elevate their ranks, and bless them with Jannah Firdaus and A'la. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa Allah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa Allah. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. الحمد لله الذي هدانا إلى دين الإسلام وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله، وأكمل لنا ديننا وأتم علينا نعمه فرضي لنا الإسلام دينا، فلا نعبد إلا إياه ولا نستعين إلا به. نشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، ونشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا مولانا محمدا عبد الله ورسوله، بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة، فجزاه الله عنا وعن كل المسلمين خيرا. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا. أما بعد رب يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين يا فتاح رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي ربي زدني علما والحقني بالصالحين سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم سبحانك لا فهم لنا إلا ما فهمتنا إنك أنت الجواد الكريم. My dear respected elders, brothers and sisters in Islam, a new year marks new beginnings. New beginnings give way to new opportunities, and new opportunities pave the way for great possibilities. And through the pursuit of those possibilities or the disregard of them, we as an ummah can either move up a notch or we can fall more than that. As this Friday marks the first Jumu'ah of the year 1441 Hijri, I call on all of us today to take the route of optimism and not that of pessimism. For truly the challenges of our time can make us pessimists, but our deen teaches us always to be optimists. I want us to take a fresh look at life and reach for new heights. I want us all to see off the old and embrace the new. And I want us to turn back to what we disregarded and give it due attention. Recall, my fellow brothers and sisters, the marking of this calendar was the pursuit of all the above-mentioned items. For that, the Muslims broke out of their norm. They challenged themselves. They expanded the realm of possibilities. They pushed back on their enemies of their own families. And they got from Allah what they couldn't otherwise. If the Muslims were not determined to make the first step to migrate from their homeland, to seek a new land, to find a possibility to practice their faith freely, if they didn't think it to be possible, it would have not become possible. But they challenged it and they made it happen. They didn't look at the word of Allah to be the ultimate promise in the making. Many of us have this distorted understanding of the religion. Allah said it will happen. When He does it, it will happen. Now Allah said He will do. Are you willing to be that ambit? Are you willing to be that person that will make Allah's promises happen? Don't push it back onto Allah that, when He guides me, when He brings peace on earth, when He changes the condition in my home. No, He's promised He'll do it. You need to take the first step. So through the life of the Sahaba radiallahu anhum ajma'een, they didn't look at the word of Allah to be the ultimate promise in the making. They looked at their practice. They looked at their conduct. They looked at their ways to be the determining factor. For history can serve as a reminder to us all that the words uttered by our Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam weren't always what the people did. A command isn't a decision maker that changed the course of humanity towards good. It was the people that embraced that command. For it was around this time, 1441 years ago, that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam called on one and all in the small town of Yathrib to spread peace. But history will show that a few years later, around the anniversary of these same words, strife and war broke out, which resulted in the killing of the grandson of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It was in this time, 1441 years ago, he called on one and all to join the ties of blood, to see each other as one body, as one ummah, regardless of the color of our skin, regardless of the background of our culture, and also regardless of our faith. Because when he was preaching these words, the people in attendance were not just Muslims, they were the Jews and the pagans also. So 1441 years ago, he called on one and all to join the ties of blood. But history will testify that the same people he spoke to, divided into banners and nations, splitting from each other, and then turning on one and another. And it was precisely this moment, 1441 years ago, that he called on everyone to connect to their Lord at the most intimate time in a cycle of a day, during the peak darkness of night. Sadly, we see that practice also of bonding with the Master, with our Creator, has become a rare practice in our life today. So, time did bring a new opportunity to the Muslims at the time of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It was the opportunity to leave the old and start anew. It presented a possibility to flourish and grow. Those who took it up did just that. Those who got up from Mecca and made it to Yathrib did just that. Those who adhered to the words of Rasulullah ﷺ did just that. They made a city that was known for war and tribal warfare into a peaceful city. They made a filthy land into the most cleanest land on this earth. And they made a plague-infested land into the most secure, healthy, and role model society on the earth till this day. Time gave them the opportunity. They took that opportunity and they made it happen. And they accomplished not just what was in front of them, they accomplished much more. Sadly, those after them seemed to feel the reminder of a new year was a hype and somewhat overrated. So they ended up destroying what was built and not continuing to build on what could have been possible. It is not anyone else but I that am destroying the legacy of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There is no blame but on myself that I am disregarding the opportunities at hand to solidify, to concrete, and to preserve the deen of Islam. We have to take ownership, my dear brothers and sisters, of our mistakes. Only then we can take the ownership of the path forward. So long we pin blames on each other, the world isn't going to go anywhere but down. In today's khutbah titled, "The Scale of Time Can Tip Either Way," I want us all today to ask ourselves a simple question. What do I want to do? Ask yourself a simple question. What do I want to do in life? Let's go beyond that repetitive question, what do I have to do? Because we all know what we have to do, but our life will attest that we end up always doing what we want to do. If our wants today can align with our needs, and our needs are reflective of what Allah commands, this year, inshallah, will be the best year of our lives. Ameen. For then, we will experience true peace, and the ongoing tyranny in our world will be extinguished by that same peace. We will experience blessings in our life, and the entire creation will be showered with that same blessing. We will feel the power of unity, and the entire humanity will be restored as one human body. This all is possible because it is promised. When my wants become my needs and my needs are reflective of what Allah told me, I cannot do anything without His divine promises will come to play. Only then will everything that we deem impossible today will become possible, inshallah. So what do I want should be what I need. And what I need should reflect what Allah wants for me. And if that shift could happen, no one's saying run forward, no one's saying run back. All we're saying is just scoot over. If we can scoot over to where Allah is, then watch the power and promises of Allah come to play. For this year, my dear friends, the promises of Allah align perfectly with the needs of humanity and that of the entire creation. I personally consider this year to align perfectly with the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now let me just share with you one of those promises. We go into the Holy Quran, chapter number 24, verse number 55. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala therein states, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, وَعَدَ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنْكُمْ وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ لَيَسْتَخْلِفَنَّهُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ كَمَا اسْتَخْلَفَ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ وَلَيُمَكِّنَنَّ لَهُمْ دِينَهُمُ الَّذِي ارْتَضَىٰ لَهُمْ وَلَيُبَدِّلَنَّهُمْ مِنْ بَعْدِ خَوْفِهِمْ أَمْنًا يَعْبُدُونَنِي لَا يُشْرِكُونَ بِي شَيْئًا وَمَنْ كَفَرَ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْفَاسِقُونَ. The translation of which is the following. Allah has promised to those of you who believe and do good deeds, He will most certainly make them rulers in the earth, as He made rulers those before them. And that He will most certainly establish for them their religion which He has chosen for them. And that He will most certainly, after their fear, give them security in exchange. They shall serve me, not associating anything with me. And whoever is ungrateful after this, these it is who are the transgressors. I want us to take this verse, my dear brothers and sisters, and extract 9 very clear points that Allah is propagating. Number 1, Allah said wa'ada, which is past tense, which means the promise is already given. He did not say ya'idu, Allah is promising or Allah will promise. He said wa'ada, wa'ada Allahu, Allah has promised, meaning this promise is done. The promise is done. I need to scoot over so I can align with that promise. Allah is waiting for you and I. The question is, who will it be from us or from our progeny that will actually scoot over? That's the question we need to ask today. What do I want to do? Number 2, وَعَدَ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا minkum. This word baffles me. The Quran came to humanity. Muslims are the ones who open the Quran and read it. Now Allah is promising in His book to those who believe in it an exclusive category of people. This is not general. This promise isn't general. Allah says He promises those who believe from amongst you. What does that mean? Some of us are disbelievers when we're holding the Quran? No. Some of us will not fully embrace this promise, hence we will be excluded from this promise. Yeah, Allah says so many things, but society tells us to do something else. Allah does tell us of stories of previous nations, what happened to them, but our current trends tell us else. No, brothers and sisters, when you use Allah's word as a comparison to what's happening in your world today, Unfortunately, as believers, we don't fall under this promise. وَعَدَ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنْكُمْ, that not all believe in His way even though they believe in Him. That's a fact. We say we're Muslims, but not all of us believe with conviction and trust, resorting to Allah, keeping Allah as our only option. Not all of us, including myself, see it that way. Allah is saying, you need to see it that way. You need to trust me, you need to rely on me, and you need to depend on me. That's the faith from you that I'm looking for. وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. Point number 3. The actions, brothers and sisters, have to always be seen as a reflection of what's inside. Today, a Muslim is an outward appearance. We consider someone a Muslim because they have a hijab, or because they have a beard, or because they wear traditional Islamic clothing. And culture teaches us that if not, we can consider that pool who don't fit the external criteria as far-fetched Muslims, like, kind of out there. وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. Actions are a reflection of internal belief, not external symbols. Let us not make our Islam into symbols. Every person who's walking holding beads doesn't mean that they're a person of God. Everyone wears beads nowadays. Over their neck, hold in their hand, or tied to their wrist. Your true actions are what comes from within you. So if your dependence and reliance is on Allah, your actions will truly show and display the truth of Allah through you. آمَنُوا مِنْكُمْ وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. So let's stop thinking the actions of religion makes one religious. No, let's make the true actions of who we are into a reflection of what's within ourselves. لَيَسْتَخْلِفَنَّكُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ. This verb has so much emphasis that not only did Allah use the past tense in the beginning of the verse, but He is guaranteeing you that you will be Khalifa on this earth. What does that mean? He will give you a position of leadership. Who? Who from you? Your parents? Your eldest brother? Your eldest sister? Who? Allah saying, all of you. Leadership means people will listen to what you say even though they may disagree with your ways. Today the Muslim Ummah is struggling to get their voice across the table. We can't even get our voice across the table because no one wants to listen to us. Doesn't matter how intellectual we are or how academically accomplished we are, no one wants to listen to a Muslim today. You and I know that. Allah is saying, scoot over. وَعَدَ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنْكُمْ وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ لَيَسْتَخْلِفَنَّكُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ. If you want people to know you, to know about you, to respect you, even though they disagree with you, Allah is telling us the promise is here. كَمَا اسْتَخْلَفَنَّ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ. Like He made those people before you leaders. Who were they? They were the people of Medina with the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The time of the noble predecessors. The masses followed and they respected what Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Sahaba said and did. Few of them rebelled or challenged. Today it's a 180. Today the masses are rebelling against Muslims. They're considering Muslims to be a disease. They consider our religion to be a cult. We have seen a 180 shift. Very few will be open or willing to listen to us. وَلَيُمَكِّنَنَّ لَكُمْ. And Allah will establish. What is He going to establish? He will firm your foothold in this world even though you may not govern a land or rule a people. You don't have to. Khilafah doesn't mean that you have to be a ruler of a land. No one's here to take over any country. But your actions will be so strong. Your representation will be so bright that who knows, people will ask you to lead them even though they may differ with your faith. He will make you honorable and prevent harm being inflicted upon you. Ask yourself, where are the Muslims honored today? Not even in their so-called own countries. And Allah will say, promise number 7, He will take the infliction of fear upon us due to our deviation to do this. Allah will inflict us with problems so that we see what peace is and we turn back. Allah will change min ba'di khawfihim amna. He will take you back to peace out of fear. I.e., it is our distancing from this promise that will inflict us in a state of fear that will then provoke us to come back to the peace and the promise of security of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's exactly where we are. People, you ask in your own social gathering, people will say, where do you go in this world today? Where can you go and safeguard your family? I have the answer. It's not a country, it's Allah. Go back to Allah. That is what you should want. If that's what you want, Allah will give you min ba'di khawfihim amna. He will give you after fear peace. Now what will happen when you have a life of peace? يَعْبُدُونَنِي لَا يُشْرِكُونَ بِي شَيْئًا. People will live a life of bliss, where they will be so caught up in the love of Allah and remembering Him and worshipping Him, they will not transgress His boundaries. وَمَنْ كَفَرَ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ. Allah then says, if you feel still after this one verse and these promises in this one verse, that this is far-fetched, good Allah, you say what you want, but I need to do what I need to do for Kashmir. I need to do what I need to do for Palestine. I need to do what I need to do for Yemen. I need to do what I want to do, not what you're telling me to do. It's fine. وَمَنْ كَفَرَ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ. If you want to reject this, Allah's saying it's fine. Don't listen to me, it's fine. Allah doesn't get hurt when we disregard Him. Allah doesn't get hurt when we disregard His words and we put Him down. He doesn't get hurt. وَمَنْ كَفَرَ. If you feel it's far-fetched, reject it. The response to it is the continuation of the perpetration of transgression due to my transgression on Allah. Brothers and sisters, the formula of Allah is very simple. The formula of Allah is simple. When you reject Allah, it is transgression. And so long you and I transgress against Allah, humanity will transgress upon us. It is a given. Look in your history. And the second we turn back, each of us, that I want to respect Allah, I want to do what Allah is telling me to do, then I won't fit in the category of transgressors. And the day the Muslim Ummah comes out of the category of transgressors, watch Allah change this world. Watch Allah change this world. So my dear brothers and sisters, if you know about our world, you know that it is the perfect solution for our world today. This one verse. Again, the verse is chapter 24, verse 55. May we all see what He knows is right for us to be right for ourselves. آمين يا رب العالمين. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. استغفر الله. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا. My dear respected elders and brothers and sisters in Islam, this one verse is proclaiming every solution to every problem we as an ummah and as humanity are currently facing. Instability, insecurity, fear, transgression. Every problem, one verse is the solution. Question is, why aren't we seeing it come to fruition? Why aren't we seeing it happen? What did I say in the beginning? We need to scoot over. We need to move over. Allah is looking for minkum. He's not looking for people who say on census reports, I'm a Muslim. Allah is looking for those from the Muslims who truly believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala without reservation. Those from the believers who see the solution to be just this and nothing else. So now the question should arise, Does this imply that Allah wants only good for a certain group of people from the Muslims and not for everyone? No, my brothers and sisters. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants good for all of us. He states in chapter 4, verse number 95, وَكُلًّا وَعَدَ اللَّهُ الْحُسْنَى. For everyone, وَكُلًّا, for everyone, وَعَدَ اللَّهُ الْحُسْنَى. Allah has promised good. Allah wants good for all of you. Allah wants good for all of your children. Allah wants good for your neighbors and your co-workers and your fellow classmates and for everyone that you know or you don't know. Allah wants goodness for everyone. The question is, do you want goodness for yourself? What do I want today? Sadly, some of us will never get around to realizing it. So my dear friends, a new year begins and a new year brings new opportunities. New opportunities to pursue new possibilities we fail to get the year before. May this verse be the beginning of what we all pursue as an ummah. I want us all to walk away from this service today with the belief in Him. If we can just say, oh Allah, I want to believe in you and your word the way you want me to believe in you, He will forgive you all and convert your sins into something grand. Chapter number 5, verse 9 says, وَعَدَ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ لَهُمْ مَغْفِرَةٌ وَأَجْرٌ عَظِيمٌ. Allah has promised those who believe in Him and do the good deeds as He wants it to be done. He has forgiven them. He promises them that forgiveness and for them a grand reward. And in return of your peace that you will get today, He will give you peace in all you'll know tomorrow for eternity. And my dear brothers and sisters, it is the peace of tomorrow that is our grand success. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, وَعَدَ اللَّهُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَالْمُؤْمِنَاتِ جَنَّاتٍ تَجْرِي مِنْ تَحْتِهَا الْأَنْهَارُ خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا وَمَسَاكِنَ طَيِّبَةً فِي جَنَّاتِ عَدْنٍ وَرِضْوَانٌ مِّنَ اللَّهِ أَكْبَرُ ذَلِكَ هُوَ الْفَوْزُ الْعَظِيمُ. Tomorrow He has promised you gardens under which rivers will flow and beautiful houses in an everlasting garden, and the pleasure of Allah is the greatest. That is the true success. In Surah Maryam it is stated, جَنَّاتِ عَدْنٍ الَّتِي وَعَدَ الرَّحْمَنُ عِبَادَهُ بِالْغَيْبِ. It is those eternal gardens that your merciful Lord has promised you, which is unseen. إِنَّهُ كَانَ وَعْدُهُ مَأْتِيًّا. Allah's promise will be fulfilled. Allah's promise will be fulfilled. May we all fall under the promise of Allah. Ameen Ya Rabbil Alameen. Remember, my dear brothers and sisters, this is not a fantasy. This is a reality. When the believers saw the enemies coming forth, قَالُوا هَذَا مَا وَعَدَنَا اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ. This is what Allah and His Rasul promised us. وَصَدَقَ اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ. And Allah and His Rasul have only spoken the truth. وَمَا زَادَهُمْ إِلَّا إِيمَانًا وَتَسْلِيمًا. The true believers, in the face of their enemies, in the 11th hour of tyranny and aggression, when they are down and they cannot move, they say, we believe in what Allah and His Rasul is saying. It doesn't shake them. It doesn't move them. It doesn't make them weak. وَمَا زَادَهُمْ إِلَّا إِيمَانًا وَتَسْلِيمًا. It only increases their faith and it increases their resolve. So let's go back to the act of the prayer. Believing in Allah the way He wants me to believe in Him. That's what I want to do. What I want to do is what Allah wants me to do. And I want to be what Allah wants me to be. This year we are going to scoot over, inshallah. And when we scoot over, we will embrace the promise of Allah. When we embrace the promise of Allah, we will see the promises of Allah coming into effect. I close by asking all of us to take the first step. And that is, inshallah, on the 9th of this month and the 10th of this month. Fast. Because your Prophet Muhammad after migrating and the starting of the new year, he fasted. We send salutations and blessings upon Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who guided us, who mentored us, and who showed us that the word of Allah is possible for us to live. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala sayyidina Muhammad abdika wa rasulika an-nabi al-ummi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa بارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وإسرافنا في أمرنا وثبت قدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. اللهم ألف بين قلوبنا وأصلح ذات بيننا واهدنا سبل السلام وجنبنا الفواحش ما ظهر منها وما بطن. اللهم انصر الإسلام وأنصاره وأذل الشرك وأشراره. اللهم وفقنا لما تحب وترضى واجعل آخرتنا خيرا من الأولى. اللهم اشف مرضانا وعاف مبتلانا وارحم موتانا يا رب العالمين. آمين يا رب العالمين. آمين يا رب العالمين. آمين يا رب العالمين. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. فاذكروا الله يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. Please inshallah stand up and form our lines. Make sure our lines are straight, stand shoulder to shoulder. The edge of our heels should be on the edge of the line.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Hayya ala salati.